Hello friends and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Mandy and I like to talk about nail polish, makeup panning, and things happening in my real life. Today I have my update for the Enjoy Your Eyeshadow, or Eyes, project pan, so stay tuned. This is Enjoy Your Eyeshadow Project Pan. It was created by Deb B here on YouTube, and it is a fantastic ladies collab group project, I think. Pretty sure. This project is about using your eyeshadows in any way that makes you happy. And all Deb asks is that each month we come and share what we used and talk about something that was our peak for the month and our pit. So, yeah, let's get into it. This month I did not wear makeup as much as I have in the past. But it looks like just a much, I mean, last month I didn't wear a lot. The month before I wore quite a bit, and the month before that. So the last 2 months I haven't been wearing makeup very often. So let's talk about what I've been working on. Let's talk about that really quick. Because I think going forward I'm going to make a slight change. But what I've been working on for singles, I have a single from Medusa's Makeup that is in a project for uses. It is called Envy. It is a green, and I have that. I have a DIY palette from Natasha Denona and a Lunar Beauty single. This is what that's looking like. I was using those shades. And the LA Girl Surreal Dream palette. This is a new one to my collection, and I'm trying to figure out what I think of it, and that is what it looks like. Most of the shades are sort of satiny, shimmery. There are only two mattes, which are this really dark, I think it's dark green, and this one, which is black. Next is the I Heart Revolution Mermaid's Heart palette. This is a really pretty color story. I have the Ace Beaute Violet Sage. And the Marvycorn by Marvin Magnificent and BH Cosmetics. This is what that looks like. I have two shades in here I'm working on. This one, K-Bye, to hit pan, and this one down here, Moana, for uses. And then finally, I brought in my Galaxy Chic for No Pan Left Behind. All right, so let's talk about what I wore, and I'll put up pictures of the looks, assuming I took pictures for every look. I'm pretty sure I did. I tried really hard to. So the first look I started with on the 12th, and that was, I started with a shade from the Natasha Denona palette here. This middle shade, I have named it Fawn, because to me it's a nice fawn color. And then on the, and then on the lid, I did the dark brown, which, that one there, which is a slight satin finish. I named that one Bronze because it is kind of bronze, but it's also just kind of a metallic-y brown. And then I used something that's not an eyeshadow. So that was on the outer corner, and then the inner corner of my eye, I used this shade from my Totally Plastic Face palette. Put that back. For shimmer, I went with something from two shades from the Surreal Dream palette. Shade 3, which is sort of this one here, and shade 4. And then I topped that with gold from Medusa's Makeup, which was in 50 Shades of Gold, and it was called Woke, and I totally put it away and don't know where it is. Those are the two shades from the Surreal Dream palette. They're kind of pinky copper shades. They're not very shimmery. They're kind of satiny. They're okay. And yep, in my inner corner, I combined, I I didn't even mark that I'd used this on my little tally on the back. Shade number 1, oops, sorry, shade number 1 there, and combine that with the gold from from Medusa's makeup. If you saw my project last month, you will see what will look like. And then I used my black liner. Okay, the next look I did on the 21st. So there was a long period of time where I didn't do makeup from the 12th to the 21st. I started again with the Fawn shade from Natasha Denona. And then I went with my Mermaid palette. On the lid, I started with shade number 3, which is this gold, and number 5, which is this coppery color. And then for shimmers, I did 4 and 5, which is a copper and a bronzier color. There are those two shades, so that's 4 and 5. And then on my lower lash line, I used the dark green in the palette here, number 12. And for my inner corner, I combined shades 1 and 4. And I used my black Kajal liner. Just looking at my tally marks. Okay. Then on the 7th, another big jump, I started with Fawn again. That was my favorite transition shade. I'm actually wearing it today. And then I'm kind of rotating through my palettes, if you can't tell. For the lid, I went with 2 green shades. I started with the Sage in the inner half and Juniper on the outer half. And then for shimmers, this was a wild one. I used the Natasha Denona green, and then I topped that with the Lunar Beauty single. And then on the lower lash line, I used the bronze from the Natasha Denona. And in my inner corner, I used my Envy from Medusa's makeup. And I will see if I can get swatches of all of these. This green from Natasha Denona is sort of a cream to powder formula. It's very stiff. If you watched whatever project I just did, I recorded something that the Lunar Beauty was in. I don't remember what project. Same pan last year, I think. I think that sounds right. I had that in for usage, and I don't like it. It separates. And then finally, so those are those two, the green from Natasha Denona and the Lunar Beauty. And then the Medusa's makeup. And then I finished it with my black Kajal liner. I have to go to the next page. Okay, the next look I did was a simple look. I started with Fawn from Natasha Denona. And then on the lid, I layered K Bye from the Marvycorn and the dark brown bronze from Natasha Denona, and added the brown liner, black liner. And that is what K Bye looks like. It's very similar to this shade up here. Yeah, very similar. Kind of a coppery red. Okay. That was K Bye. Alright, and then the last look besides the one I have on today, I started with, in here, I started with Flotter for the transition, and then for the lid, I put down a base of Tongue Pop. And then for shimmers, I went back in with K-By again. Put a base of that all over the lid. And then I used Saturn from my Galaxy Chic on the inner half and Mars in the outer corner to deepen it up. And then I topped it with K-By again. And I also put spray tan on the outer corner to darken it up and along my lower lash line. And then I put Saturn on the inner corner. And I will give you swatches of Saturn and Mars. Here we go. So the top one is Saturn. It's quite a bright shade, and then the dark brown is Mars. I have a mosquito bite on my hand. Sorry. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, so yeah, that is it. And then today's look, I have my transition shade is Fawn from the Natasha Denona. And then I haven't written this down, so give me a minute to think about it. I forget what okay. And then I went with a Surreal Dream palette again. Randomly selected shade number 10. This one right here. And I paired it, that's on the outer half of my lid, and then the inner half I went with this sort of a gold color. And then I applied glitter glue and went over it with the exact same shadows for my shimmers. And then the inner corner I have shade number 1. And then along my lower lash line I have the same shades again. And I used my Natasha Denona dark brown bronze shade as my liner along the upper lid. Yeah, that's it. So this month, peaks and pits. Love the shades in the Marvycorn. Still don't love this. Don't know if you can tell. Don't have a love for this. I picked this up. It was on clearance, or it was on sale because the store I picked it up was going out of business. I got it on discount. I'm not fond of it. The shades, like I said, they have a shimmeriness to them, but when you put them on, they're very satin. The pigments are very awkward. The only mattes are these really dark ones. The color, I mean, I kind of like blues and, you know, browns, but I have blues and browns in here, in here, in here. I just don't feel the need to reach for this. I did not use all the shades in this palette, which was my goal. Looks like the only 2 shades I have not used are these 2 on the end, this sort of olivey green brown and the black, which actually I did use. So the only shade I haven't used is this one, and I probably have used it and forgot to mark it. Anyway, so I dislike this one quite a lot. And I'm not drawn to it. So I'm going to declutter it. Now, if anybody watching this wants it, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I will pass this along to my daughter, and she can either take it herself or pass it along to a friend of hers. But you guys can have a first chance at it if you want. I will sanitize it if you choose. I don't want to work on it anymore. I'm taking my Post-it note off, and I'm taking it out of this project. That being said, since I did not wear makeup very much, I am keeping track of the ones that I have in for No Pan Left Behind. So this is in for uses for projects. The Mermaid's Heart, it is in for No Pan Left Behind. I have not yet used that I've written. No, in this go round. I have not used this shade here, or this shade here, or that shade there. So these 3 shades are the only ones I have not used, and some of these shades I have used multiple times. This coppery shade is in a project for usages. So I'm going to leave this in for 1 more month to get use out of those shades I have not used. Galaxy Chic is in for No Pan Left Behind. I think it's in a project for that. I've only used the 2 shades I talked about, Saturn and Mars, so this is staying in. And Ace Beaute, I believe, is just in this palette, or just in this project, and it is in for No Pan Left Behind, and I have only used the 2 shades, the 2 greens, so I want to keep this in. So I'm keeping in the Galaxy Chic, the Ace Beaute, the Revolution, and the Marvycorn. And I am keeping in, because I still have uses left on my Envy. I am also bringing in a new single from Medusa's Makeup. This is in their Glam Rock eyeshadow, and it is in the shade Rhapsody. And then I'm going to select 4 new Natasha Denona shades. I'm taking out these 3 in the middle, as well as the Lunar Beauty single. This is being decluttered, so if you're interested in it, let me know. It is also a pit, as well as this green. This is also a pit. I have lots of pits this month. This formula, it's very pretty, but it is very hard to work with. I've tried it wet. I've tried it with my finger. They both work fine, but it's really hard and really stiff. And like I said, I think it's a cream to powder. Well, it is a cream to powder formula because that's the only thing it could be. Anyway, I don't like it. I'm gonna find a place to put it and give it a new home, or I don't know, do something with it. But yeah, and I will pick new shades. This one is staying in because that is my eyebrow shade, and I am trying to hit pan on it. And if when I hit pan, then I will bring something else in for it. But the rest of these will be replaced, and I will show you what I brought in next month. But these 2 brown shades are definitely staying, my fawn and my bronze, and then my brow shade. But these are staying in my collection, just not in the project. So that's it. Going forward next month, I'm going to try and wear makeup more frequently, but I'm not going to take pictures. I might take pictures. I won't be going through it as much as I am now. I will probably still write down what I used and keep track of which shades I used, but I won't be going through each look because, I mean, if I wear makeup every other day or every day, that's a lot of looks. So I will just probably go over the palettes that I used and what I didn't use and my peek and pan. So yeah, that is what is going on. If you have any comments, suggestions, feedback, let me know. If you want that palette from LA Girl, let me know. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button while you're here. It means a lot to me. And until my next video, take care of yourselves. Stay true to you. And you'll see me in my next video. Bye!